Okay, let's get into it. Happy Monday, everyone. Hope everyone's able to enjoy the weekend, enjoy the time off. Uh, we have a short week. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say a short week, but we do have a day off of work tomorrow. So we've seen this coming. This is the pullback long. We know that. We know that. So coming into today, like I said, I really don't trade the SPY and the Qs. I'll zoom out here on the daily. Give me a sec. This was our dip, right? 612. This is the dip. So we actually will be opening up today with a gap in the market. We will be having a gap in the market. So I'm going to be pretty patient. If this thing wants to pull back, which I hope it does, I'm looking for a long over pullback long off of 612.80. Remember, this is the dip buy that we've been waiting for. Or I'll wait for this thing to pop up a little bit, and then I'm open to taking a long off of 618.45. But we can clearly see our key level being respected here during the pre-market. This is clearly support level. We're bullish bias on the overall market, but this is the one I'm looking for. I really want a pullback long off of 612.80. So we'll see if we have a little bit of morning downside if it wants to fill this gap, or just have a gap and go. There's a lot of thin volume in here. A lot of thin volume in here. Straight up, you go straight down. So we'll see how that goes. SPY. This is the one, right? Can't forget our 673. Our 673. This is the dip buy. All last week, leading up to last week, we knew 673 was really our key level. So even here on SPY, we are gapping up. We're going to open with a gap. So, if this thing wants to pull back this morning and fill this gap, I'm very open to that. Or a break and retest over 679.85. So if you look here, even though you can kind of say that above 679.85 is a channel, the price goes straight up and straight down in this channel. But this is all-time highs. So this is really like the better entry down here. Remember, we're bullish bias on this name, but we want to buy the dips. So we want to be in a trade before we get back up here near all-time high. So that being said, I would prefer this. We'll see how market opens. Like I said, we don't have any red folder news or a break and retest over 679.85. I'm looking for that on the SPY and the Qs, but we can't be surprised. I've been preaching this market is very bullish. Last week was very, very healthy. There was a lot of gaps. There was a lot of thin volume. So the market's objective last week was just filling that. It was just filling all of that. So crazy recovery Friday. I wouldn't necessarily say recovery, but crazy momentum going into market close. I mean, look at this on the 1 hour. Just straight up, we're gapping up today. So we'll see how that goes. Tesla, hands off. Nothing in here. Nothing in here. I'm hands off. NVIDIA. So looks super solid. I'm looking. This is obviously going to be on my close watch list. Like I said, this is another name that's pretty much opening with a gap. But for NVIDIA, I'm looking for a pullback long for 190.10 or a break and retest over 195.60. A lot of thin volume in here. So I'm very open to just being patient, letting this thing fill this gap. But if we can get over 195.60, there's nothing in its way. You can clearly see, there's nothing in its way. So that being said, I mean, crazy recovery as well. As you can see, this thing is clearly in sync with the overall market. So I'm going to see how that looks at market open. But still, bullish bias on this name. I'm just looking for a pullback long or a break and retest over 195.60. Apple, still setting up. It's not ready. It's not ready. I got my alert ready, but it's not ready. So, we'll see. We've been having a peak and fell above this level on Thursday. Looked a little promising, but you can see we're just waiting. We were just waiting. So I got my alert here set at 271.40. Just looking for a break and retest over that and seeing if we can get some continuation higher. And then AMD, I mean, bro, I told you guys this was really the A plus long last week. The entire week, this is really the A plus trade. So coming into today, I'm looking for this break and retest over 242.80. I mean, look at our key level here. Get respected on the dot during the pre-market, just on the dot. So I love this. This looks like a solid setup. There's nothing in its way to the upside if we want to break. Nothing in its way. Let me go here on the 1 hour. Look at that. That is beautiful. That is beautiful. I broke this down. There's a lot of thin volume in here. Straight up, straight down. That's all price does in here. So I'm looking for a break and retest over 242.80 on AMD. About 3 minutes here until market opens. As you know, for me, I would just be looking for relative strength coming into market open on a name. So, Apple pretty much dead smack middle of the range. You can see us getting a little bit of a pop here on NVIDIA. Um, so looking for, yeah, I want to see if we can get this break and retest above this 195 here on NVIDIA, 195.60. And then AMD, it's either going to be a long over this 242.80. Actually, let me zoom out. A long over this 242.80 or a pullback long off this 225. Now, clearly this is just a no trade zone for me. I could definitely look for a pullback long here, but you can see this pretty much is a channel here that I'm not really fond of. I don't want to be in that. And then the better RR trade anyway is over 242.80. So we'll see here. We're already sitting at the top of the range on AMD at this 242.80. So we'll see how things go. I'm looking at Qs as well. Like I said, I would really want a pop. I'm really looking for a big pop off this 618.45. You know me. I need displacement first. So I'm looking for that and then a retest. But if this thing in SPY can really pull back, and maybe start the morning off trying to fill this gap, I like that. But we just ride to the upside, really just a gap and go type of morning. So we'll be patient. We'll see how that plays out. About a minute here till market opens. In 5 seconds. So we can see AMD in the video giving us a little bit of a pop. So wow. If you're gonna be patient on Apple, clearly see some divergence here on Apple compared to AMD and Nvidia. That's the thing. Apple's like one of those names like kind of just keep taking your shot until it plays out. Um, so we shall see. Spine the cues. First 2 minute candle, very green, very volatile open right now on these tech names. So we're gonna be very patient, very patient. Like I said, Spine wants to if Q's wants to give us a pullback to 618.45, I'm very open to taking a trade off of that on a zero. Very open to that. So I'm gonna set an alert under that. And then if Spine wants to get over 679.85, I'm open to that as well. Now, if Nvidia wants to pull all the way back down to this 190.10, I like it. So keep in mind, guys, and this is kind of all across the board except for Apple. There's gaps to fill on Nvidia and AMD. We gapped up. We gapped up tremendously. So, this if we want to have a pullback type of morning, that is healthy. I would actually prefer that. So if Nvidia can stay heavy all the way down to 190.10, by all means. So what you're seeing right now is just really the pullback gap fill because there is some divergence on these names, excluding Apple compared to the overall market. So we'll see. Apple looks solid though. We opened at 268.94 and we pushed all the way up to 271. Apple in the 15 minute looks amazing. And this is really the only name without a gap that needs to be filled. And it has a clear divergence against the market. So if Apple wants to set up, I mean, by all means, I'm open to it. Apple looks the best right now. It does. I know they're very expensive on AMD. It's kind of crazy. The cons are crazy expensive on AMD. This looks like a Tesla name. Golly. Look at that. That's crazy. I'm looking at Apple. I'm looking at Apple. Apple looks the best right now. There's clear divergence on this name. You guys know what I'm waiting for. Displacement. Apple looks solid. I gotta take the shot. AMD looks good too. 635 on the dot. So really gotta wait another minute just to see how this candle closes on Apple. Looks good on the 15. Good displacement on Apple. So looking for that. Nice. Patient pays. I'm not looking to rush this. We know displacement is what I'm looking for. Apple's the only one that really seems like the cleanest, just cause if I can get a deep enough pullback, I like it. If I don't, so be it. Remember, like I said, like this, if it's a blow off top, we can't be surprised. There's a lot of built up liquidity. This thing was sitting in a channel. Market's trending higher right now, moving higher, so we'll see. It's just a better price action, in my opinion. Very patient here. Nvidia and AMD just has a relative weakness. Well, I wouldn't say relative weakness, but They're pulling back because since markets open, Q's hasn't had one down close candle. Haven't had one. I'm seeing what Apple does here. I'm being very patient. As we know, the deeper the pullback, the better, the tighter our risk. So if I miss a trade, so be it. And then I'm also trying to read this because that's the previous day high. That's the previous day high. So it seems to be some strong sellers sitting up there. I'm being very patient here. I need a deeper pullback here on Apple. Gotta wait for this candle to close. Their strong bar stepped up, so kind of want to see. I think it's pushing though. Overall market is like really pushing. May not be ready, but I gotta take my shot. Gotta take my shot. Gotta take my shot. Come on, Apple. Palantir's breaking out. Contra holding. It's Apple on a Monday, so I'm not really too concerned about that. SPY and Qs is trending higher, so this thing just may not be ready. May not be ready. Trying to be patient here. Just trying to hold. SPY and Qs is trending though to the upside. You kind of see a little divergence with all these names. We'll see. Just trying to hold. Look at all the other tech names. So I just don't think Apple's ready. Being very patient. Doing my best to hold this. I mean, you can see buyers are defending this though. Look at that. Buyers are defending this. I'm just trying my best to like hold this because I understand like I don't want to get squeezed out of my position for a loss before this thing runs. So just be like being patient. I'm seeing a little divergence now because the overall market is pulling back. And then look at Apple. I understand how Apple moves. So we all see this playing out. Like this is what I consider, in my opinion, a good loss. This is my definition of a good loss. If I lose this trade. On they're holding up. I'm up 1%. So we'll see. There's some. Come on, Apple. If this thing can go, bro, if we can get through this high day, which is also correlating with the previous day high, this is pretty much like a daily double top here. This high day, it's a daily double top, but this overall market is just trending. So if it can get this breakout out of here, it's really nothing in its way. So I'd rather just take the loss. I want to see how this plays out. Apple's stuck in like this channel, bro. So I really want to see how this plays out. This market is moving right now, though. I want to see. We'll see. I don't care about that. I want to see if this can go red to green. There we go. There we go. That kid, Apple. I'm gonna scout 60 there. I got 10 cons left. I didn't like that. Break even on the rest. Come on. This is what we do, bro. This is what we do. This is what we do, bro. Come on. Okay. Nice. Playing your trade, trade your plan. It's Apple, so I know these cons aren't gonna move like that, but come on, bro. Kind of wish I was able to hold that a little bit longer, full size, a little bit longer, full size. But seeing this seller step up again, come on, bro. God, I love my job. Come on, come. We got to give a round of applause for that. We held this like a dog. I'm out. What a day. I really wish I was able to hold that full size a little bit longer. I saw seller step up again into this high day push. I have to scale out. Beautiful. Like we managed this. Look at our stop loss. Buyer stepped up to finish this aggressively. That is textbook, bro. Playing your trade, trade your plan. Every day. Every day. No regrets on my sell. Seller stepped up like aggressively into this high day push. So again, I thought we'd be able to get this close over it. We didn't, but man, if I was able to hold that a little bit longer, full size, 647. And it's not only the trade that we care about. It's we saw why we were going for Apple. Look at the market open on these two, and there was clearly relative strength here on Apple. Beautiful breakout, bull flag retest. We were very patient on our retest. We did not panic when our stop loss got hit. This is why we wait for candles to close under our stop loss. I understand market structure. This thing is bullish bias. So if we fall under this 271.40 and I sell for a loss, I understand like I'm a part of these people who are short in this name, and I don't want to get squeezed out of my position that moves this thing higher. So I understood that. Man, the only thing I wish I can do differently, no regrets, it's Apple. Like Apple's not going to move like Tesla or something like that. I saw a seller step up here again into this high day push, and this is a daily double top, so I did scale out 90% there, but no regrets. If I was just, yeah, no regrets. The only thing I would change is like maybe trying to hold a little bit longer on the scale out, because you saw seconds after I missed this whole push, but super solid trade, bro. Super solid trade. I'm very proud of that one. This is the same trade we just took on Friday. Like I said, 7 times out of 10, it's gonna work. This is the exact same trade we just took on Friday. Like I always say, our job is to control our risk and emotions. Anything else that happens once we enter a trade is out of our control. This is the exact same shot that I just took on Friday with a zero. And then remember, Friday, we were pulling back. Ultimately, we would have got stopped out, but I said I can't sit in that on a zero. So only thing I wish was a little different here was we didn't hesitate um, at this key level. I had to get out 90% there just to be safe. I was able to get this push, scale out, and then I scaled out again. So solid day. I missed that big momentum push by a couple of seconds, but there's nothing I can do about that. Quick day, quick day. I wish I was able to catch that. And saw this 5 minute forming. I really wanted that 5 minute candle to close and go red to green, and that's exactly what we did. So happy with the trade. Uh, This overall market's pulling back now, and there's some divergence around Apple a little bit. So you can clearly see, I mean, there's a handful of reasons why I really identified Apple. And when market opened, one of the first things I said that I like is that it doesn't have a gap to fill. That was one of the main things I like. Like right now, Nvidia, yeah, it's pulling back. Obviously, we know it's not bearish, but it has an objective to fill. It has to fill this gap, and then it's pulling back with the overall market. If I'm being honest, I really just skipped AMD because the contracts were so expensive. But even though the price action isn't too hot on this too, but look at Apple compared to all these other names, right? Clean, clean. We waited for that. That is textbook. Man, I wish I was able to like get this big momentum pop full size. I really do, but super solid trade. Look at that, bro. Like I said, there's nothing in its way. There's nothing in this thing's way until once we get over this, been breaking this down. There's nothing in its way to all-time highs. Look at that. There's nothing in its way. I don't regret my scale out just because it was a daily double top. Let me see. Let me go to the 30 minute just so I can see the intraday wick. Really up to here. Yeah, up to there. There's nothing in its way. Look at that. Playing a trade, trade your plan. This is why we avoid channels. I'm trying to teach you market structure because as soon as we break out, these are the high probability A plus trades, right? We get a breakout. There's no coincidence when we get outside of a channel that the price action is clean. It's no longer compressed, right? We know who's in control once we break outside of a channel. It's the bulls. So super solid, super solid trade. Very happy with that. I feel like I got out right when we started to get that big push, but That is solid. When you get trades like that, you kind of wish your skin was still in the game a little bit. Yeah, I got out of that trade. Like, actually, it was a really good trade. Never mind, I take that back. That was a really good trade. Like patient pays, right? We entered, right on this candle here. Right on this candle here. When I saw strong buyer step up, I didn't really wait for that candle to fully close. But I said I'm waiting for the deepest pullback. We ended up doing that. And look at the wicks here. Look at the wicks. We sat in this together, like not a single um, body candle closure under, wicks to the damage, body tells the story. And this is why it's so important to, one, not look at your P&L when you trade, and two, wait for a candle closure under your stop loss. I can't stress that enough. Solid, bro. Those cons did not, they did pretty well. They did pretty well, but now you see, this is why everyone loves to trade Tesla. Because if this was a Tesla play, I mean, golly. And then I understood the bigger picture here. Um, because at first I had a candle marked here. Hold on, give me one sec. I'm sorry, a key level on the entry marked here. And then I was looking at, my chart and I'm like, yeah, that's a terrible RR trade. That's a terrible RR. So I just wanted to see um, us pushing to the previous day high, which was a daily double top, almost a daily triple top. And, we started to pull back here. So I scaled out 90%. And then we ended up getting that push on the bigger move. So really wish I was able to catch just like on the bigger move. But of course, that's always easy to say in hindsight, right? We all wish that way. So was that a daily level? Yeah. Yeah. Very happy with Apple. Man, I wish I would have got that, but it's all good. It's all good. And then the beautiful thing about Apple, right? So I'm trying to explain to you guys. Coming into tomorrow, right? Let's say we get a whole daily candle close above this. This is still a key level to take a long off of. Remember, we got a break on the daily, so you know what I'm looking for. I want to see a daily candle close a form above this, right? Tomorrow, and then I'm sorry, tomorrow market's closed Wednesday, and then a pullback long into that. But this is structure. We're waiting for that. This is exactly what we're waiting for, right? I said consolidation, next leg higher. Same trades I'm giving you folks, right? Every single day. Same trades I'm taking, I'm giving you. And it's not necessarily the trade I'm good about, it's that I'm happy about. It's necessarily just why we decided to choose Apple, and then also us not panicking on the pullback. Those are like the three main lessons here. Is we waited for the displacement. See this? You go back, rewind this. We got an instant break and retest. So I used to take those, and I would lose a lot because I'm thinking I'm taking a retest, but I'm not. You're playing momentum. So what did I say? You know what I'm looking for? Displacement. Body of the candle closes at 272.12. That's beautiful. Our key level here is 271.40. We pull back on the dot, right? I'm risking right under here. Risking right under. Ended up getting this push to the upside. I mean, and now this thing wants to start to trend. Beautiful. This thing wants to start to trend beautiful. Now it's Apple on a Monday. Those contracts do not move that well. We still had a good payday. My runners went for over 20%. Runners went for over 20%. Yeah, I think my key level was like right here. And when red, yeah, it was this candle. This wick means that price did push down here. So when I saw that, I scaled out 90%. Easy to do that or say hold in hindsight. But on a 5 minute time frame, if we started to reject, keep in mind, this is the previous day high. We started to reject that. I was like, okay, I really can't be greedy here. Like this is a very hard level to get over. So this is a good level for me to personally scale out for me. So let me go here, show you what I mean. See that? So I did try and hold. I held this full size. And this wick shows you that we actually did push down. So I'm thinking, dang it, okay, this is just a very hard level to get over, right? I'm just trying to explain to you how I scaled and why I did. No regrets though. Very happy with the trade. I really wanted to hold this to see if we can get that push, but we didn't. So you can see, give me one sec. Right here, right? See that? Here, see that? And then here. So that's 3 times that we push into this previous day high. This 272, I'm around that to 30. That sellers are stepping in, right? I tried it. I tried to hold this. I did hold this one. Our first push, I did hold that, and then we pulled all the way back down, right? So, like I said, I don't trade my P&L. I'm looking for the bigger move. We push up again. I hold full size, and then I wait for the next 5 minute candle to form. We went green to red, right? We pushed all the way down to here, and I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. I got to scale out here. And then we initially got that push. So I hope that explains on how I scaled out the way I did. But this was a key level. This is a previous day high, and sellers were stepping up here, defending this thing, and then we ended up ripping through with momentum. So sometimes you catch those, sometimes you don't, right? You guys know me. I like to hold my trades. I really tried to hold this and I missed it by a couple seconds, but would I change anything? No. Like it's easy to say that in hindsight, but I'm reading the price action in the moment. I mean, we all are. We're looking at this together, and this was a key resistance level on the intraday. like I said, this is the previous day high. So we kept pushing into this thing and just rejecting. So very happy with that. Of course, I wish I got this full size. Of course, I wish I got that. That would have been beautiful. What is this? I was in that trade almost 10 minutes. I was in that trade for almost 10 minutes. So solid. Nvidia, I'm sorry, not Nvidia. AMD moving higher. But like I said, on AMD, like last Friday, you go watch that live trade. It's like last Friday, this was really like down here was the A plus long. This was the A plus long. This was like a beautiful swing. We knew that because look on the daily, that was really a break of structure level. It was really a break of structure level. Now, give me one sec. See that? This was the dip buy. This was 100% the dip buy. Now, coming into this week, we'll see how things look. We still have this gap to fill on a technical standpoint. Still have that gap to fill on a technical standpoint. But, right, the dip is your friend, the trend is your friend. The A plus longs is what I've been trying to teach are the dips. It's not up here when we're already at all-time highs. It's down here when you see the market pulling back and everyone's thinking, well, why would I go long if we're pulling back? So that's really the main thing I've just been trying to teach to everyone is just market structure. Right? This is 6 days in a row that I've taken calls, right? The market's not ready to be short. These names aren't ready to be shorted. The trend is your friend. So yeah, good way to start the week. We got an off day tomorrow, so like I said, I'm up at 5:30. Market for me opens at 6:30, so I'm sleeping in. Um, let's see. So these things are setting up. Like I'll show you in a video, right? Like look at this gap here on the video. That's a gap right there. It's a gap. So the only reason I liked Apple is obviously we saw how relative strength it had clean price action, but it didn't have a gap to fill. So if you see some of like my videos in the past, sometimes I don't really like playing like gap. How do I explain this? Give me a sec. Okay, for an example, AMD, right? We had a break, we had to retest this thing's moving higher, but we have a big gap to fill under it. So sometimes I'm not really comfortable going long on names if it has a gap under it, because if it fails this key level, it's like it's the market's objective to fill that gap. It doesn't have to be today, it doesn't have to be tomorrow, but we don't know when that gap's going to be filled, right? So, if I end up going long here and we fell under and we pull back, yeah, I got stopped out. My thesis is correct because we're bullish in the higher time frame, but the market just has to fill this objective. It just has to fill this gap. That's all it has to do. It just has to fill this gap. So that's why I'm not really fond of playing gap and goes. They're good setups. You can take them, but I just don't like playing gap and goes if, we open up the next day with a big gap sitting right under us. I was pulling back. I mean, this is clean market structure, right? This is a swing. We ended up breaking this. So us to pull back and retest this, um, is 100% normal. So we'll see. I put up a poll. So my next video coming out is how to play the reclaims on the pullbacks from when you're looking to play a pullback long. I'm excited for that one. But one educational video I'm really excited to get out is how to hold your trades longer. And it does take a lot of psychology. It takes time to get there, but it's when you understand market structure. And that's really what I've been trying to teach you guys. Like big winners require sitting through pain. Big winners require sitting in the pullbacks. Remember, if you want to catch a nice trending day, you got to be able to sit in the pullbacks. You have to. So me, whenever I enter a trade, I don't really have a profit target. I kind of let market structure tell me when to exit. So I wish I was able to get in this or catch this like full move, but I let market structure really tell me when to exit. So you would want to see this get bought up, and then we target this one high, and then you would want to see a break and retest over that, and then continue higher, right? How do you know a name is starting to trend when the dips are getting bought up aggressively? So you can clearly see like on all these names, we are bullish bias. NVIDIA, it just has this gap to fill under it, and it's not moving with the overall market. So it's a chop, and then we trended beautifully last Friday on the pullback. We trended very nicely. So really no shocker there, not a surprise there on the video. And then look at Q's. Look at Q's. I mean, unfortunately, we didn't get this, but this is still in play in this week. The 612, this is a gap to fill. It's just every time, we start the week off around the 612.80, we just gap above it. We haven't really got like necessarily a proper like break and retest off this level. Maybe a pullback, not even a pullback long. So this is the big dip buy on the daily time frame on Qs. But like I said, right, game plan was to go long over this. I said I was looking for a big pop and then a pullback, but obviously never got that. But I mean, this thing's trending. This thing is trending. Very proud of our analysis. Textbook. Very proud of our analysis on the SPY, on the Qs, on everything. Like this is exactly what we've been breaking down for the last almost 2 weeks, right? Trend higher, consolidation, next leg higher. We never got this retest here. So all of last week, what were we doing? Filling this gap, filling this gap. This was a gap, right? Filling all this in volume, all these gaps. And then we ended up, right? This is the dip buy. Look where we're sitting right now, 618.45, all-time highs up here. So very happy with our analysis, just understanding like, hey, we are bullish bias on this name. These are just pullback longs until we break structure under here. And like I said, we're ways away from that. So once again, around this 612.80, because I've been looking for this level to really take a trade off of. Once again, on this level, we end up gapping up again. Look at that today. Gapped up. We've never got a solid like break and retest over the 612.80. Never really got it. So something to still watch. I mean, we'll see. This government shutdown is still in effect. If you look at I'll show you right now. Like, see, tentative. Like, we don't even have times yet for these red folder news. Just as due to this government shutdown, you can see at the bottom. So we'll see what happens. But this market is very much bullish to the upside. Give me a sec. Wait one sec. Like, this is what I mean, right? On Apple. Now, Apple's a very slow mover on the underline, but dip, dip, dip. That's exactly what you want to see. Then you want to see that this swing high. It's gonna break and retest above that and continue higher. So you can see Apple's trending. Even on Friday last week, this thing was in play and it was starting to trend. Give me one sec, just so I can show you, right? Took this exact same trade last week. Give me one sec. Here, right? We had the dip into our 267.10, and we just started to trend higher, right? Same trade I took last week. It's just today we finally broke out of that channel and got some momentum in our favor, right? We had the dip, and then you can see it just started to trend higher. And I was looking for that. I was looking for that. We didn't end up getting it. We ended up falling to the downside, but we know we're bullish bias, and you can see our 266 did its job. Like I said, I don't trade channels, but you can always take a long at the bottom of a channel if we're bullish bias. You just can't expect clean continuation. So today our opportunity showed up, and there's literally two trades in a row on Apple. Right, you want to see this dip get bought up, and then target this swing high. But as we know, options you get paid on momentum. So I really wish, I really wish I was able to catch this full size, but no regrets at all with my style. I tried my best to hold it. We saw sellers defending this previous day high, so I had to get out or scale out, sell a day, and then SPY. Yeah. So even SPY here has a gap. Even SPY here has a gap. I was hoping we had like some more momentum on SPY and the Qs. Because now that these things are kind of outside of channels, the SPY and the Qs, and like we got some good price action, I'm very open, to darting this thing up with zero DTEs. Like I'm very open to that. Just taking my shots like on these A plus opportunities. Um, so we'll see. We'll see. Structure's holding. Nvidia, I'm sorry, not Nvidia. AMD trending. You can clearly see trending to the upside. I think I'm gonna call it here. Solid day. Super solid day. Yeah, I'm looking at my execution here. My last contracts that I scaled out, those cons alone went over 200 just on five. That's a lot for Apple. Those contracts went over 20%. So like I said, I feel like I just missed that like momentum push, but still solid day. Two names I'm not really fond of trading is I wouldn't say I'm not fond of it, but understanding it is Apple, especially Apple on a Monday, and NVIDIA. So something I'm sure you've heard me say in the past is like I love Apple and NVIDIA on a Thursday and a Friday, mainly a Thursday, mainly a Thursday. And you see why. If you go look at my trader recap from last week or even the trade recap I took on NVIDIA, I was in that trade for 2 minutes and that was a 17% return, right? Because I took that contract on a Thursday. So those cons don't really move like that. Starting at the start of the week, like a Monday or a Tuesday, right? Hence, that's why everyone always focuses on Tesla. So super solid day here on Apple. We broke down our game plan coming into the day, and we executed. So that's all you can do. Hope you're able to learn here. Once again, the mini recap here on why I was very intrigued with Apple is one, no gap to fill. That was number one. I didn't like that AMD and NVIDIA had a gap to fill. Just based on my own statistics and tracking my own data. When I go long or short on a name, that has to fill a gap from the previous day, right? We're not talking 2 days from now, 3 days from now, but if it starts the day having a big gap, sometimes there's a high chance within those first 48 hours that that gap's going to get filled. So that's just something that I don't like. I don't like that. I almost took my shot on AMD. The only reason I didn't is because those contracts are through the roof. Let me see. Yeah, like bro, for AMD, for these cons to be almost $800, one strike out of the money is actually crazy. That's actually crazy. Look at Nvidia, right? 310, $4 at the money. Look at Apple, right? Look at SPY, a buck. And then look at Q's, about a buck at the money. So I'm looking at AMD. I'm like, bro, these are expensive for a Monday too. I'm good. I'm good. Like I don't mind playing expensive cons, but yeah, that's crazy. It's crazy. But like I was saying, the overall recap here is one, there wasn't a gap to fill on Apple. That intrigued me. Two, we clearly saw the relative strength at open. Look at, these first opening minute candles on AMD and Nvidia, then look at Apple straight upside. Three, we got a big momentum displacement breakout over our key level. We were patient for the retest. Remember, this candle closure, yes, technically it closed over, but that's not displacement. We were patient, waited for the retest, entered right on this candle, risking right above here, and we held this. We held this. We got to push into the high day. I didn't sell because I didn't like that. The RR wasn't good. So then I made my initial target be the previous day high because I saw that sellers kept stepping in there. I tried my best to hold it. But still, overall, super solid day. Super solid day. And most importantly, we came into the market prepared. We planned our trade and traded our plan. We knew 271.40 is our key level. I mean, beautiful break, retest, shoot to the upside. That's textbook. That is textbook. Like I said, all the hard work is put in, during when market is closed. So this shows me like I did my job. I did my job. And then not only that, just how we managed this. Right? We did not let this freak us out. We did not let this freak us out. We held this. We held our water. We kept our composure. This thing pulled back, fell under. I don't care. I know exactly what I'm risking. I think the most these contracts went down was like 7%. So that's very small for me. That's actually why like some people like to scale up more on Apple because it moves very slow on the underlying. So this pullback, I think I was only down max like 7% on this trade. So but yeah, I'm gonna call it here. Quick work day. Um, let's see if Nvidia wants to hold this. Overall market is just sitting sideways a little bit, but let me see. Yeah, look at the price action from Friday. As much movement as we had, and then here. To be fair, the market hasn't even been open an hour yet, but right, if this thing was to sit sideways, that's fine with me. Truth be told, I kind of want us to pull back. I do. I would love for us to fail under 618.45 and fill this gap. All that is a gap fill. All that's a gap fill. So I kind of want us to, just pull back today and fill the gap. We've already started maybe 2 to 3 weeks in a row, just with gaps in the overall market. So see if the video wants to hold this. I'm not gonna pick a trade, but I'm curious. Honestly, solid sell here on Apple. We missed this like big momentum push by a couple of seconds. Like I said, no regrets, but since then, kind of just pulled back. I feel good because I was able to get some runners and sell into really this high day push, these momentum pushes. So very happy with that. Not the cleanest price action here on AMD. Maybe this candle here. Like if you wanted to, if you took this today, because this is all off the actually, yeah, this is off the pre-market game plan. I think. Yeah, it is. It is. Maybe that candle there, good displacement. We closed at 243.26. This one red to green. So if you took that, solid. Buyer stepping up here on the video. Beautiful. You'll be risking right under 195.60 candle close. Target this high day. Yeah, everything pretty much set up today. Right? You would have to take this. I kind of on this red to green, but it's a Monday, so you're not really worried about these contracts being very volatile against you. Like data's not really a factor. Beautiful break and retest on our key level here, 195.60. You would at least want to see this get into the high day on the video. Yep, yep. So far, every pre-market game plan has played out. 3 for 3, solid. On the tech names, 3 for 3, very solid. Every one of these played out. Then you read the price action here at the high day, right? Scale out accordingly, however you want. I don't really like to scale out at a high day, but you gotta read the price action. Because then you really want this high day to become support, and then like now that's your new stop loss. And now you're in a trade that can't go red on you. Let's see, red, green. Not the cleanest price action on AMD, but Let me see how this looks on the 5. See, on the 5, it's just easier to hold. You enter down there. That is solid. We kind of sell into this push because price came all the way back down here, but clearly we reclaimed it, but we broke and retest over that. And then you just basically trail it, right? I like to trail my position full size on the 5 minute, sometimes the 15 minute. So you never really get stopped out. You definitely would have had to scale here because I mean price came all the way back down here, so that's a tough hold. But you can see we turned this high day, we broke it, retested into support, and then we just broke this and then retested this and pushed higher. So when you want to catch these big moves, you got to understand that you're going to risk giving up some gains. Um, but you're riding the trend, so it doesn't matter anyway because the trade can't go red on you, right? So then this would be your new stop loss, and then you would target this, and you would want this to become your new stop loss. So you can clearly see AMD's trending here. This looks solid. This looks like a really good setup. Like I said, I didn't like it because the contracts are so expensive. Probably would have got paid more than I did on Apple, but Apple was way cleaner. I was waiting for that. I just took that trade on Friday. I took it for a very small base hit, like 600 bucks. Right, so you can see AMD's trending. That's beautiful. Right, and like I said, this is not surprised. Right, go watch the pre-market video. I said every time we come through here, price just goes straight down. Price just goes straight up. Straight up. There's a lot of thin volume in here. This is and this is why this was marked as the A plus long. This reason right here. So I knew in this channel I'm comfortable going long in here, and that's why this was a no trade zone because I didn't like that this was a channel. Can't make this up, right? We see it together every day, real time, straight down equals straight up. That is solid. Yeah, AMD's really been the real one. Like this was the A plus trade, and then today was an A plus trade. So if you caught this today, you got paid very well. Beautiful break and retest. We just saw that together in real time on the video. Right, good displacement, buyer stepped up, pushed higher, broke to the high day. I only take one trade a day, so I don't really care to take this. But A plus setup, right? We saw this. We're bullish buys over on 195.60, big reclaim, good displacement, retest, buyer step up aggressively, momentum push to the upside. So all our trades played out. 3 for 3, great way to start the week. Um, I'm not a greedy person, so I don't care to take X amount of trades in a day. I'm very big on one a day. Very big on one a day.